You were talking about an immigration situation, and I know that there's a backdoor situation of Europeans where America has a problem with immigration of certain ethnic country situations. Is that something, because I've met Italians and British people who are here, young, in Mexico, waiting for a lottery situation to get into America. Is that true in France as well?
There's immigration issues too in France, especially from North Africa coming to France, or Africa coming to France. In general, the general opinion is more, we have a culture about the translation from French to English would be open arms, maybe something like that. So there's, on the immigration point of view, a law, we are very open. Now on an everyday life, depend on who you're talking to. There's a resistance to foreigner living in France. It's mostly North African people. So there's a two side.
But if you are a Mexican, let's talk about a reverse situation.
Okay, sure.
If you were a Mexican and you wanted to go to France, is it difficult?
No, I don't think so.
Basically, you get on a plane and you get a visa from the airplane?
Yes, the relationship between France and Mexico, in an immigration point of view, I don't think there's any problem. I've never really lived the situation because my husband is not Mexican. I've never heard Mexican people telling me, oh, it was so difficult. I don't think so, but I cannot really say for sure.
And I've heard that from many Mexicans, that they can travel almost anywhere other than America without any problem. And you know, it used to be with Canada, but Canada's kind of got on the bandwagon with America, and they've been difficult. And I used to always wonder, why would a Mexican pay a coyote to swim the river when all they had to do is get a first-class ticket to Canada and walk across an Indian reservation? But now that's stopped.
True.
That's no longer.
An economic situation, because usually people who are trying to cross illegally with a coyote are from the lower social class. They don't have an education. They don't.
But they pay a fortune.
They do pay a fortune. They pay maybe $2,000, maybe more, maybe a little less, but it's around $2,000.
So first class ticket to Toronto.
But they
don't know.
They don't know, and it's part of also the low class culture.
But that's not available anymore. It's not available anymore.
No,
it stopped about 6 months ago.
Completely?
Completely, yes.
Okay.
Well, we don't know that for sure, but
we don't know for sure.
as long as you have uneducated people, you're going to be able to sell them Pleasure Island, even though it doesn't exist.
Well, but to go to America as a Mexican, you have to have money in a bank, so that they know that you're coming back.
But that's legally.
Right, legally.
We're talking about legally. We're talking about illegally.
We're talking about illegally.
Illegal.
Somebody meets you on the street and convinces you to give them $1,500, and then they sell you to a human trafficker 10 miles from the border.
The dream of getting rich or making money in the States is still very present in people's mind.
They think that the streets are paved with gold.
Right.
See, I'm seeing a difference with this, because Americans are afraid to come to Mexico right now. Over the last 3 or 5 years, it's gotten really bad. And the Mexicans are very resilient. And now they're not really marketing to the Americans. They're marketing within their own middle class and wealthy class. And the middle class is growing. And we're like, you and I were at the beer festival. And it was all 30-year-old rich Tijuana people. It was you, me, the band, Old Mission Brewery, maybe 2 or 3 other Americans, and probably 3,000 rich 30-year-old Mexicans. And they're like, we don't care about you Americans.
No,
you know, we're economically viable, and we have our own economical situation. We don't care anymore.
But that's also middle class.
But the middle class is here.
That's right. It's here.
That's what makes a really good economy. And that's what's killing America.
Right. And then also the low class, if they had that money, they wouldn't go to the States either.
No. And now they're coming back. And I'm meeting, and Desiree's met with me, several Mexican Americans who were born in America. Their parents swam the river, paid the coyote,
Right.
and they've come back.
Right.
And they've stayed. They came on a vacation. They stayed there working. They're like,
Right.
this is lovely. I could make in America like for a whole year, but I here like for a month I make nothing.
Right.
But my lifestyle is so much better, and I'm
True.
living a better life, and I'm happy, and
There's a twist. True. The older generation who go there, make money, hopefully get
and
the
send
best for
money
their
home.
kids,
And send money home.
and then send money home, and hopefully get the best to their kids, get an education, and then those kids now are coming back here.
They are.
Right.
Enjoy the lifestyle.
The biggest
They are.
exodus, other than we older Americans who are baby boomers,
Right.
are Mexican Americans born in America coming back and giving up their passports and getting government jobs
That's true.
and living life lovely.
And that's the story that the American media does not tell America.
That's right.
So, okay.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Whatever you do.
Bye.